everyone, and welcome to Rival Bros. Now, having moved from American Scouser over to the EPL channel, and you know what that means? We have to change the background and abandon the old background over here. So we are live here, Rival Bros. If you're familiar with the show, we've been going at it for quite some time over there on American Scouser, but moving over to our brand new channel, EPL Across the Pond over here. I am your host, Timucin, here in Chicago, representing Liverpool, and the black sheep of the family, my brother Edip, who's actually in Istanbul. He wishes he was in Trafford, representing United. What is going on?
Hayırlı olsun, as we say in Turkish. This is
there
the
English
first.
for that?
Yeah, no,
No. One of the many Turkish sayings, well, there's no direct translation for it.
exactly. Yesterday, I was having a chat with the AI, and I couldn't remember the exact word for ukala, like know-it-all.
No, at
But
all.
it's not.
Arrogance.
Yeah, but it's not exactly that. And then the chat GPT, as we were chatting, it replaced the word with ukala, so it started to use ukala in English sentences. And I wrote, well, I love the way you use ukala, and it said there is no exact translation. As many words in Turkish are, it's a very rich language, so pampered me a bit as they do.
Yes, you know my feelings about ChatGPT, especially when it starts making up crap, and I call it, and I call them on it, and it's a pretty sad existence, by the way. When you come and say, "I was chatting with the AI yesterday," so we got to get you some friends.
Yeah, well,
That's
yeah, there
probably
you
a
go.
big part of it.
Yeah,
But when
I
you're a
was.
United fan, no one wants to talk to you. I guess that's probably the problem over there. But I have to by contract, so we'll get to the league over there. But I do want to let everybody know, obviously, like I said, brand new channel. It will be some growing pains initially, so there'll be a lot of new stuff coming your way. This is our first week schedule over here. So tomorrow evening it will be. This is obviously American Central Time, I believe, the 7:30 p.m. over there. World Cup Wednesday, and then the EPL preview show is on Thursday. The World Cup Wednesday, we're going to be like kind of covering like a different World Cup. Results, jerseys, the storylines, players, and stuff like that as we get ready for the World Cup this summer, which will be here. So it's an additional bonus over there. But there's a lot of like other content we're planning on doing. Will coming your way. Just want to kind of get things started. And what's worse way to start it than with Rival Bros, I guess. But this is the chances that this channel will be taking, people. Will taking chances with Rival Bros. Okay, so last time we were on was last Tuesday night, where you guys had played. Chelsea had played, lost points. We talked a little bit about Liverpool. They had a tough game. They win 1-0 away. And then the FA Cup weekend. I know you were very busy with Valentine's Day festivities, but aside from that, the FA Cup happened. I know United wasn't around, so you had no idea what was going on, but there were games this weekend in the FA Cup. So Liverpool wins that one as well. 2 clean sheets back to back. Team seems to be playing better. I'm not totally sold yet, but it's definitely easy to see that things are going in a positive direction.
Is that because of the opponents you play, or is it really a getting a better form? I don't know. I haven't seen.
United fan, because you were calling the Sunderland away game that a draw would not be an upset, because
No.
Sunderland should be favored to get something out of that.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised.
Turntables.
I didn't watch the game. To be honest, I saw the highlights. I don't know how it felt. A 1-0 win. Did it really feel like a win, or is it a getaway?
No, actually, I was worried. I thought it was a very well played game. In fact, my biggest worry was, I was like, man, they're playing really, really well right now. Things are looking good. I was kind of more worried that they would concede a silly goal and this would all go to waste. So I thought it was a very well-deserved win in terms of like what the play showed. I mean, obviously when it's 1-0 and you're me, when you worry as a lifestyle, you're going to kind of get worried. But again, my worry was mainly something's gonna go wrong, and all that we've done this game so far is gonna go to waste because everybody's gonna focus on the result and not what's happening on the pitch.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's why it was important for that play to result in a win. And then you come to this weekend, it's more of the same. In fact, even better, I thought. This is probably the first time in a long time where I could kind of like relax and watch Liverpool, which we have not been able to this season. It was a
yeah.
very comfortable win, like not worried at all, even with the built-in paranoia from the season, like giving up, like winning positions, like losing points and stuff like that. So no, I take it as, especially like 2 clean sheets back to back, and then now playing Forest away,
Yeah.
which is a tough game on paper, but we were just recording our Fenerbahce show. We spoke about it there. Forest is going away to Istanbul on Thursday against the Fenerbahce team that is pretty hot right now in terms of like form and kind of like confidence.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, on the other side, they have a new manager, which who did miracles in Wolves, which was an ex Fenerbahce manager, and again, it's the
Twice,
Portuguese.
in fact, an ex Fenerbahce manager
Yeah, I
fired
know.
twice. Yes.
Yeah, twice the manager, in different times, obviously. That would be stupid. Well, I'm twice here. Uh,
I mean, we liked him as the Fenerbahce manager.
oh yeah,
We
definitely,
liked how he developed players, how he kind of, I mean, Ferdi Kadıoğlu, if he's in the Premier League right now, he should be thanking Vitor every day. He was
definitely.
originally like a winger, and he kind of found that position for him that he plays now. Obviously, at Brighton national team and everything like that. Kim at Bayern, he was in like oblivion in South Korea. He brought him over there. A lot of players he kind of like won. Osai, who's actually like back in the championship now, but another player that's kind of he reinvented and stuff. So we like him as a manager, but we were kind of talking about this earlier. How much of his success at Wolves was because he almost walked into this like a national team camp where, oh, you're Portuguese too? You're Portuguese too? So like everybody was poached from
Yeah.
Portugal. So did that make his job a lot easier over there in terms of being able to communicate what he wants? And the
I,
players listening to him, I guess.
yeah, I'm not sure, but I think when Vitor came to Fenerbahce twice, the first periods of Vitor is always a success. And if you remember
Yes.
that season, we started very strong, and everybody was sure that Vitor was the one to bring the championship. Wolves did the same thing. They were all but gone, and he revived the team totally, and they were
Yeah.
like climbing up, and winning games. And I think the Forest owner looked at the situation, just 3 points from West Ham, which started to win games, like get points. I'm sure you will bring up the United game as well, with West Ham. So it's either Forest or West Ham, I think, isn't it? Really, if you look at things. So I think it's a wise decision to bring Vitor in, both for Europe and for the Premier League. It will be a tough game for you guys there, I'm sure, because
Yeah.
especially if they get a result, which we don't want, obviously, from Istanbul, the fans will be hopeful. Even now, Vitor is in, so he's known for saving, like the big Sam of
Yes,
all
the
day,
Portuguese Sam, if you will.
the
Yes.
Portuguese Sam. Yeah. So
By the
I
way,
think they
fun
would be.
fact. I should
Hmm,
mention this. I should
okay.
probably mention this. For those of you who have not watched the show before, because obviously we're on a new channel now. Fun fact, early in the season, when Wolves was struggling, we should bring the story up, I think, because you
Yeah, yeah.
mentioned there's multiple opinions.
Go on.
So when they were actually struggling, they renewed Vitor's contract
Yes.
early on in the season. And you came on air in more than one occasion and saying what a great move it was to give a boost and a confidence. And then I think like 6 weeks later, he was fired. So there is that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, not I wasn't going to say that, but I was
I'm
just going
sure
to
you
say,
were not. That's why I mentioned it. Yes.
yeah, the problem with Vitor is, as time goes on, I think he grows away from the team or the players or whatever he uses, he loses the magic at some point. When uh, the contract was re-signed, uh, very briefly, I think the players said, "Oh, we are not getting rid of this guy, so we better sort of pick our shit together." But it doesn't happen. It didn't happen in Fenerbahce either. Once he falls out, he doesn't have the uh, capacity to bounce back. I think some managers like Slot is doing now. They have a down, obviously, with all the teams and everything in form and everything, and then they can sort of bounce back. They can ride that storm and come
Yeah.
back with it. I don't think Vitor is that guy, but I think the forest owner is looking at things. He will not have time enough to fall down and come back, so we'll use him in the positive ways and see what happens later.
Yeah, it's a
The
very
thing is,
Mediterranean way of running a club.
yeah,
So
exactly. I mean, it's, it's the Turkish matchup in the Europa League. If they sort of jump ahead another round, that would be a success, I think. And especially if they start to get points, not win games maybe, but if they get a point from Liverpool, I think Vitor will be very happy with that. If
oh
he
yeah.
didn't get a humiliating result in Kadıköy.
Even
Even if he
so, I think we were
loses like
talking
1
about this.
nil
He's
or
being
2
brought
1.
over not to win the Europa, even though I would assume, like we were just talking about it when we were
Yeah,
talking about Fenerbahce. I mean, I think early on in Europa, they were probably one of the favorites that probably, dropped a little bit with their recent form and everything. But you would think on any good day, there are not a lot of teams that Forest would be like huge underdogs to in this Europa.
right,
So, uh, but Vitor is brought over there to keep them in the Premier League, not to win the Europa. So I would think even if
right.
he gets a result against Fenerbahce, they might, when they sit down and say, "Hey, we need points. Where are we going to get these points?" They might have the Liverpool game at a 0 originally, but the new manager bounce and stuff. And I think it seemed like I was going to ask you that because that's one of the topics I want to talk about, all these like manager changes, which it's odd because in like the Turkish league, we're familiar with weekly manager changes, like 2 a week or something like that. And at one point, I was keeping tabs, and actually, the number of managerial changes was more than the number of weeks. But it feels like in the Premier League, it's the latter part of the season where people start making the changes, which is probably more fair. At least you gave it a shot, kind of a thing. But isn't it really poor timing for both Spurs
Yeah,
and Forest to make the change like literally the moment the window closes? So you can't even like help this guy in any shape, like by bringing a player or anything like that. So you're basically saying, "Hey man, this is what we got. We need you to improve things." Mind you, Tudor, who used to be in Galatasaray, is at Tottenham, which is another.
oh yeah, and then he didn't leave there like that would be funny because they won yesterday. We playing with Vitor and they are playing with
Yes.
Tudor of with Tottenham. I think there's only 4 teams in the Turkish league now that haven't changed their manager from the start of the
That's
season.
crazy.
It is,
But
isn't it?
it's mostly early on in the season, or maybe after a while you can't keep track of it, so it keeps happening, but we don't know. I mean, I think I respect a bit more of the decision made by. I mean, I don't want to say respect, but understand. Let's say when a team like Forest, somebody in that. I mean, I know Tottenham is getting close over there, but I don't think anybody is really thinking
No.
Tottenham can drop that low. I guess never say never, but I can understand the new manager bounce because it's so valuable, so much money to stay in the Premier League. It's
Yeah.
worth changing a manager. But I thought, I was kind of shocked with Tottenham, for example, because I mean, they got the guy they wanted and everything. You're not.
Yeah, I'm not. Plus, obviously, we are new to this, and he will be saying things like what he said before, but he will very conveniently omit the thing that I said in the last episode, that Tottenham will be changing managers. And I think we went off the air, I think in an hour, the news came.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for mentioning that too.
Well, what is that like? The broken clock, right? Twice a day, kind of a deal. Yes,
Yeah.
we just go with that. I don't know. I felt that one was. I know the results were horrific. I don't know. Like, I'll ask you that as a United guy who changes managers every 2 to 3 years. It
Oh
feels
yeah.
like. When is the time to change a manager? When you want your team to change a manager? I've been going against the slot out thing because I feel like personally, if you do not have an alternate plan that is better, changing the manager gets you nowhere. Exceptions would be like for a situation where all you need is a little bounce and maybe get like, an extra, if it's going to get you an extra 3, 5 points and keep you in the Premier League, we're talking like, millions and millions of dollars. So that's fine. But I feel like overall, if you're just going to go to like an interim manager, might as well stick with what you have unless you really think what you have is basically shit.
Our dad used to say something which I sort of repeat
Oh,
in
here we go.
training.
Translation time. Okay.
Yeah, no. It was just a business thing. He used to say, you would remember this. He used to say, if you have a manager who is good at the crisis times, you will have crises all the time.
Yes, I do remember this. It's
Yeah.
another
So
that
I
has
think
had
I
some
think
like
the
really
first,
good sayings now that we value them.
yeah. So I think if the culture becomes that at some point, you keep having crises, and you keep uh, sort of intervening as a manager or a leader or whatever, and to sort of make things up. Plus, the culture now, the popular culture now is to get rid of everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at the fans, and you give them the authority, you would end up in training next day, and there will be only two people there or something like
Yes.
that. Or
Yeah.
send this away, and send the manager away, send the doctor away, and that sort of thing. So the lynching, the cancel culture, they call it, isn't it? The cancel culture actually lets guys like the Forest thing, or the United management, or whatever, the culture, we are so impatient. We have to be successful right away,
Yeah.
and that makes your success come even later, just because you didn't wait
Yes.
enough.
But that's what I mean though. That's a very tough balance to know when you should pull the plug. And it's going to be look, in the short term, everything might look better, right? Like suddenly Carrick looks like,
Yeah.
he's like Angelotti or something like that. But a couple of like draws, you're gonna go back to the starting point in some
Yeah.
ways. Now you have to get a new manager. He wants his new players. He doesn't want the guy you bought last year, who was an expensive guy that you're stuck with the wages now. It's kind of vicious cycle. And I think that's part of the deal is now when you change managers, and if you're not smart about it, the price of the players are so like obnoxiously high, and the
Yeah.
wages and stuff like that, you can really get. I mean, that's what United has been really is a vicious cycle going the wrong way for the most part, and you can't get out of your own way because you keep changing managers. But when is the right time? Like, when did you say Ten Hag should go?
Start of the season, when they renewed his contract. At start of the
Or when they
second
renew the contract after you won
Oh,
the
yeah.
cup?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
yes. Even because we knew we weren't getting anywhere, and we knew that was like sort of a game each. If we want the championship, you must have a more structured coach, and see some of the signs that yes, well, maybe we are not getting results, but we can see the team spirit, the game plan, the shape of the team, blah
Like
blah. Not
building
not
blocks
to sort of,
ultimately. Yeah.
bring a string of wins together and get a cup. That doesn't make you a championship, sort of
Yes.
a champions manager. I'll just share something. There you go. Forest is still sixth best to win the Europa.
Yeah,
at the moment.
because you like you look at the the opposition, like the other teams. Yeah, I mean, obviously. So we are the Fenerbahce is ninth, or
Is ninth.
is this like something to show where Fenerbahce ranks? That's what I was wondering. But
Yeah, but what Villa is obviously
yes.
the best. Lyon and Roma and Porto and Betis, who's actually run by my dear high school friend. He's a board member there, so I think they're doing a good job there as well.
So maybe that you can get us a ticket or something if we go somewhere. I guess my question there is, I wonder where Forest was when this thing started.
Yeah, that's a good
Because
question.
I would
Yes,
think
I
it would
think
have been higher, because
yeah, probably,
compared to where
probably.
it was.
Still 14-1
It's pretty
for
darn
this.
good. We should put some money on that
For,
thing.
yeah, that's not bad, is it?
I mean,
High. I mean high. You wouldn't
is
you
that
wouldn't
because
think.
it's Forest? Is that because it's a team from the Premier League?
Yeah,
If it was
probably Premier
Brighton, it
League.
would be the same spot, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Premier League. Yes, definitely,
Yeah, I
definitely.
think especially when you look at like where the other teams are and stuff like that, I would think it's more based on where they're coming from and all that kind of stuff as opposed to anything else. But yeah, I mean, like I say, Forests, I understand the managerial change there. So I know you said it was coming, and it was no, I mean, despite what you say, it wasn't like a huge unbelievable prediction or something
Come
like
on
that.
now. Okay.
But did you agree with it, more importantly, the Spurs managerial change?
I think it's to do with the atmosphere inside the club. I mean, if you look at it like a company, like you've been manager for ages, like you
I
have
know. Was
aged a
that like an
lot.
age joke
You have
somewhere? Or yeah,
another another
I have
age
managerial
went by
experience. Let's go with that.
last week. Well, anyway, if you have somebody there and you see him not picking up things or not getting his act together, and he's not good with the other stuff there and everything, at some point you have to cut that loose. So I don't know if when there's money involved and these managers know they can be fired at any time. If they sit at home, if Thomas was sitting with the wife and the manager, how do we go about this? What do we get if we get fired? Ah, that's nice. That's the new house in Spain. Let's go for that. I mean, I'm not going to change my play style like Amorim did, didn't he? I can say a few words about the owner, and yep, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, especially if you're
So
under
two,
contract, it's
two
really
can
easy to get fired.
yeah, two can play this game because
It's like the George Costanza thing, though. Like when he's trying to get fired and he can't get fired. I mean, it's actually like pretty darn easy to get fired if you really want
yeah,
to, by especially press conferences and stuff. I was just watching a YouTube video of it was a compilation of different press conferences where managers are basically saying things that gets them fired the next day. It was like Amarim was one, Conte was another one, Angelotti was one. Mourinho, of course, which Mourinho can have his own compilation probably by himself. He doesn't
yeah,
need to be in
probably.
somebody else's compilation. But and by the way, in a very Mourinho way, he did see a red card yesterday, so it was only at Fenerbahce. He
Did
does
he?
the same
Ah,
thing
okay. I
everywhere. Yeah.
haven't I haven't seen
So
that.
let
They
me.
lost today.
I mean, that's the thing. I understand that aspect of it. I felt, especially with Spurs, I think. I mean, I guess with Forest too. When you are a team who's constantly chewing up and spitting out managers, at one point do you say, man, maybe it's not the new dude. Maybe we got to change something else. Maybe there's the lady in the kitchen that has to go, as opposed to the guy who can't get along with the lady in the kitchen.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
know.
mean? Like at one point, do you like? I know it's hard, and they made changes, mind you, at Tottenham.
They
I
did.
mean, I don't see that happening in Forest. Like it's run very similar to a Turkish club, just a lot more bigger and a lot richer, but it's the same
Yeah,
mindset that Spurs is running. I mean, the Forest is running, but I just feel like at some point you got to say, I mean, United didn't do this. I don't even know if they're going to do it, but not admitting that it's not you, it's me. Like it's us that's the problem. It's not like the guy that we're bringing in.
I think the culture brings that as well. Once you do this and you keep doing this and not changing it, all the players know that the scapegoat will be the manager. So if they don't want him, because Tottenham started very strong, didn't they, this season?
Dude, like people in our like freaking like Liverpool Discord, they were like, see, you can see what a manager makes an impact right away, the playing style and stuff. And then, 3 months later, everybody wanted him out of there. So
Yeah, exactly. So it's the thing that I find very annoying is that this we talked about with Fenerbahce as well. Suddenly, the manager comes and the players remember that how to play football and how to sort of be more energetic or help each other or whatever. This is not sort of that's a form of charlatanism, I think, to be honest,
true.
because last week you're walking about and couldn't sort of place a simple pass, and then next week after the new manager comes in, it's like kids with a new teacher. I'll show myself first, and then sort of
Don't be giving away our secrets
lose
right
the
away.
rest of the season. So it's to do with the characters that you put into the team as well, because the culture is that
Yes.
you attract those sort of characters who would be giving just enough. And if you play like Spurs, uh, just enough isn't enough, is it? I mean, you would think, if you are going for the championship, like Liverpool, Klopp's Liverpool or Ferguson's United, uh, all the players wanted to give more, regardless of the
Yeah.
manager or the game. Not I'll sort of I'll sort of manage this game and seem to the fan like I'm working, or sort of that sort of thing. The team shape. This manager doesn't give us enough good tactics. That is bullshit. These guys have been
Yeah.
playing from they were kids. Even if there was no manager, a Tottenham sort of squad would sort of plan among each other. There's enough experience there as well, and put up a better show than this.
I know, see, but to play the devil's advocate, it's kind of like a chicken and egg ordeal. Because I think, like having done, like, both of us having done management and stuff like that, I think we've always seen environments where you take something over and people who were performing at an average level suddenly start doing better because there were some things maybe psychologically or behind the scenes and stuff that was preventing them from, I don't want to say preventing them because nobody's like holding you back, but
Yeah,
maybe lacking in like makes you lack in motivation and stuff like that. And regardless, that's where the chicken and egg thing is, right? Like if you go into an environment that's very negative, eventually the environment is going to win most likely than you by yourself. You're not going to change a squad of 24 people. Like if you go into like a locker room and there's a certain mindset going on, you're not going to go on to change that by yourself. A manager can initially, almost like spray the Febreze on in the locker room, and maybe you can change 7, 8 people. Now you're starting to get majority and successful managers kind of start turning things around that way. That's kind of like the odd thing. But I mean, with Spurs, I mean, I was watching Postagolu in an interview with Neville and Jamie and, like that gang there. And, he was talking about how Spurs talk a big game, but they never take the action for it. I mean, if you
yeah,
remember, Conte is famous. That was one of the interviews in that thing. What he said is like really Spurs in a nutshell.
yeah. That is correct. That's the culture that I mean. I mean, if when Frank comes in, uh, yeah, they pick up their game, and as you say, it's maybe it's some promises, or maybe it's this is going to change feeling, and then after a while you see with this ownership, nothing's going to change here. No matter
Yeah.
how good the goodwill of the manager doesn't work out, maybe he gives some promises and they are not kept. Because you don't know the sort of the web inside the club, and between the players and the owner of and the players, because the thing is, like with Spurs or Forest, if the management is too much involved in the game itself, it doesn't work, because some of the guys are with the owners guys, and they sort of,
Yes, yes.
carry the word to him, about the talkings in the
You're not gonna believe
dressing
what
room.
he's saying.
Exactly. Do you know what he said about you? Oh well.
I always think of it like, but here's the thing, like these are all long-term projects. Like nothing changes overnight. So when these people are hired as a manager, it's, it's a 2 year, 3 year plan at the minimum, because you can't change everything and fix everything in one window. It's almost like you rent a house and your landlord is taking you around and they're like, yes, we're going to put a new floor here. The kitchen cabinets are going to be changed and stuff. You're like, oh, okay, it sounds good. And then you move in, and 8 months later, you're like, hey, this is the same hellhole that I moved into. You're not helping change anything. So
Yeah.
obviously the end result is the same. It just kind of feels like sometimes certain clubs pull the plug, and you would think fans of other teams will look at these situations and say, hey, we should not make the same mistake. But people get fooled very easy with the new manager smell. They're like, see, I mean, there were a lot of Liverpool fans who want to slot out because Carrick won 3 games and Chelsea won 2 games back to back and stuff. So it's,
That's it. Yeah.
yeah. But what are you going to do? Okay, let's get to this week. Do our predictions for this week. Obviously, we talked about a lot about the scores from last Tuesday anyway. But the title races back on anyway. But let's talk about upsets. Let me pull the screen up over here. And we'll go to next week. Weird game happening tomorrow. Wolves Arsenal. I don't think anything is going to be coming out of that, to be honest with you, in terms of like
No.
an upset. But where is the upset money going? Quite a few games this weekend, actually. Obviously, I'll be focusing on the Forest away game, but City Newcastle is a great game, and then Spurs that we've been talking about for a while have the new manager going against Arsenal on Sunday. I think that's the late game on Sunday, and Monday your Uniteds go
Yeah.
away to Everton. How do you see that one panning out? Let's start with
Yeah, I
that one,
think
and then we'll go with the
that's a
upset.
win. That's a win for United, definitely.
Really confident,
Yeah, we
eh?
just to annoy the hair guy, I think.
Is it really annoying? That guy is happier than ever.
Yeah, well, Rooney was finding him very annoying, didn't he? I mean, it's more than United winning that he's having his goddamn haircut. But no, but I think we will be back, because we didn't deserve to lose, or draw against West Ham. To be honest, we could have won that. So I think, we are not going to lose. That's for sure. But we will be going away with a win. I think there's a couple of good games there. Villa is coming back, aren't they? In form. So I don't know. I would pick Leeds, but I think, Villa is coming back with the form now, and
They will have
we think
played Thursday as well. Bear in mind. Oh no,
they
they don't.
will. No, they are not playing on Thursday.
That's right.
So I'm not picking that one. I'm picking, in my first
Okay.
one.
Wait. Before you start,
Ah,
because you always make 85 different upsets. For anybody new to the show, Edip makes 85 different upset calls, and somehow some of them are right. Go figure one day. So
most
from
of
now
them
on,
are right.
let's do a point system. Pick two
Go
games, right?
two
With
games.
the new channel, new system, new setup. Pick
Go
two
on.
games. One of them is a 3 point shot. One of them is a free throw. You only get 1 point. So you're
All
gonna pick
right,
two upsets: one for three, one for one. Go.
great.
And we can pick the
Okay.
same game.
And
So
then
I'm
I
not
have
gonna
to
make.
think a lot harder, don't I? Okay, for the three
Yeah, I
points.
can hear the hamster running in the background. Go ahead.
Okay, tell me if a draw away in West Ham is an upset. Bournemouth. That's
Oh,
a very good. That's a very good game.
that is an interesting game, actually. It's that a draw is an upset? No,
Is it?
no, it's not.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't give that. Okay.
No. I don't even know what the upset is in that game. It's one of those games where, like, I don't know if that's an upset. I would say, like, Spurs winning is an upset. Fulham winning is an upset. Newcastle winning is an upset. Burnley getting something is an upset. Heck, I would even say, and I'll put my I don't want to spoil it first. Yeah, you go first. Let's put the 3 pointers first. Take your 3 point shot.
Can you calm down? Is that these are 8 games only?
They're the ones that
Okay.
are, yeah.
That's not
There's
it,
no
is it?
surprises there, buddy.
No, okay. Well, I think Tottenham getting something is a upset. If a Tottenham draw, is that an upset there?
I
No,
think so. I'll give you that.
is it
Yes,
really?
I think
Okay,
so.
that's definite then. I don't think Tottenham's going to lose.
That's your 3 pointer.
Yeah. So Tottenham getting something out of it.
Tottenham getting
I'm
something out
noting
of it.
this down as well.
I'm gonna go with Leeds United
So that was my first
getting
instinct.
something out of it. I'll take that as my 3 pointer. Your 1 pointer.
So a draw would be an upset, you think?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I like the City game, to be honest.
That should be I mean, we might, if everything works out, we'll be doing a lot of watch alongs, hopefully, on the EPL channel as well. So that would be an interesting one to do our first watch along to. That's like a really good matchup, I think. I know
Yeah.
Newcastle is coming over like after like a big upset, which we did not get to. We'll probably talk about this next week. I don't know if because I know you were so busy with and since United wasn't in the FA Cup, I don't know how much
Yeah,
FA
exactly.
Cup games you watch, but the lack of VAR made it. We were talking about it with Bickler on the Monday night podcast last night that I don't know, like it was so painful that the pain of VAR seemed milder to me at least, because I was like, at least these mistakes don't happen. VAR
No.
sucks. We're old people, old school people. So you can't. I mean, it was nice to be able to celebrate a goal regardless, but then seeing like some really, really bad calls because refereeing has only gotten worse because now they
Yeah,
rely on VAR to bail them out. That it was
definitely.
quite painful. I think that was like one of the bigger talking points coming out of this weekend. But so your 3 pointer, 3 point shot is Spurs. I'm taking it with Leeds. We need a 1 pointer.
I'll go with Newcastle. I
You're
think.
taking Newcastle getting something out of City.
Yep.
Okay, I'll go with Burnley
Oh,
getting something out of Chelsea. I think the new manager smell is going to start wearing off of both Chelsea and United, actually.
you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the
I mean, I'm more biased, mind you. Everton away obviously is a lot tougher game for Liverpool because of the derby as
Yeah.
it is for United, but it's still a tough place to go to.
It is.
And they have a good manager who knows how to do things, especially at home. So that's
Yeah.
why I feel like United will be losing points, I think, at Everton.
Really?
Yeah.
Losing points, like losing or
No, like I mean, it might be a draw or whatever, but then I don't think
a draw wouldn't be a too bad a result, I think. The thing is, they have now something to play for, like the first four or first five.
and I
United.
think actually it's funny you say that because I think that's not good for that team.
No.
Because I
You
think the
so?
lack of, like we were talking about this, I think it was with Chelsea last year where they were better in the beginning because there was no pressure. It's all new team. Whatever you do, everything you're playing with house money. When there's something on the line, sometimes that's relaxed feeling goes away. Everything gets a bit tighter. You force things a bit more, maybe. And
Yeah,
I
I
think that's
think
going to
so.
be the case, or maybe I'm hoping it's going to be the case. Either way,
Yeah,
let's
well,
put that.
I mean, the West Ham game, I think, was a hiccup. I think Carrick will carry on with that because
Are we
what
doing
you
this
said.
Carrick will carry on thing, by the way, or like the
No,
Ole?
no, no, not carry
Oh,
on
okay. I was like, I thought you were riding that
until the
wave.
end of the season. I mean, I'm not seeing him starting it.
Carrick takes United to the Champions League. Does he keep his job?
I don't think so.
Okay, so there's
I
no
don't
way he
think
can basically keep his job.
I don't think so.
Okay,
Because knowing United, I think he would have an impact because it's like our Ismail Hoja. Well, we didn't any Nasreddin's this week, but
Yes, we didn't do it in that set stories. Nice.
yeah, but I mean, if he is the child of the club, like, and he lets the guys play however they want to play, to be honest, because he's not dictating anything. He's there to make the bond there. He knows the success culture. He knows. He wasn't a very big part of it. He was the unseen part of it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Really, but he knows about the other guys playing and lets them with their skills. So I think the pressure is off. Not because we have to win this. The pressure is off. Where should I stay now? Should I make a run?
Um,
That sort of thing. So I think he lets the team bond together much easily, so they can sort of talk among themselves and decide. Gaffer, we're doing this now. Yeah, go on if you want to do
Sounds
that.
good to me.
I think that's an advantage, but you can't win a championship like that.
Yeah, he reminds me of like the dad who pulls into the gas station, gets some snacks so you can have a peaceful ride the next 30, 45 minutes at least.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, but you can only eat so many snacks before the shit hits the fan again. So there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be definitely like a great weekend of games coming up over here. So we'll be back next Tuesday, same time, same place. Welcome to the channel. Do tune in tomorrow night for the World Cup festivities. Some great content coming up your way over there. Share, like, do all that good stuff. Spread the words. And if you do want to join the channel, if you want to appear on one of our shows, do send us a message. Let us know as we grow over here. We're looking to add more and more content. But have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care.